we're going to go right into our guided factoring practice. So when you're factoring, what you're trying to figure out is what two polynomials multiply to give us this trinomial. So basically, we're breaking it apart. So we're going to start on the inside, and we now need to find our length and our width. So I'm going to go first term in the first box, last term in the last box, and now I need to find these other two boxes before I can get my outsides. So I do A, which is 1, times C, which is 64, and I'm going to make a factor tree. So if you go into your y equals and you type in 64 divided by x, you can actually get the list of everything that multiplies to get 64. So you won't have to sit here and, guess 1 times 64, 2 times 32, 3 times something. Maybe you can always do this. And then go to your table. And I've got 1 and 64, 2 and 32. I'm not going to use 3 because that y value is not whole. But I could use 4 because I've got 4, 16. Keep going. I'm not going to use 5. That's a decimal. 6, that's a decimal. 7. I need whole numbers that multiply. So 8 and 8. Once you duplicate, you're done with this part. I do want you to remember, though, that you can also go up in your table. So we do have negative values that also multiply to give us 64. So I see -1 and -64, -2 and -32, -4 and -16, and -8 and -8. So first term in the first box, last term in the last box, A times C, make a factor tree. I need to find what adds to the middle. Not this, that's 65, not this. None of these would add up to give me a negative. So I'm going to go into my negative section. This doesn't add to give -16. This doesn't add to get -16. This won't add to get -16, but these two do. So those will be my middle terms. -8x and -8x. And you know what I forgot to put in here? My x squared on my 64 because of that x squared. That's the reason why the insides have x's. So now I'm going to factor out. So I'm coming up with my two numbers that multiply to get to the inside. So for my first box, I need to find up and over, x and x. Go to your next box. So now you have part of the answer. You know that the top part is x. So what do you need to multiply by to get -8x? -8. -8 times x is -8x. I'm going to go to this box. -8 times what is 64. Another way that you can work with these numbers here is go back to what you learned in division. You can divide the inside by the outside. So I can do 64 divided by -8. And that will also tell me my top number. So it looks like my factors are x minus 8 and x minus 8. And there is one other way that I can write this. When you do a number times itself, you can always use your exponents. Anytime you have a number times itself. If these were different, though, we wouldn't be able to do that. So let's go into our next problem. I want you to try this on your own. And then each problem that you go through, you're then going to check against the answer key. After you're done with that, then you'll go into your tasks, the factoring trinomials task, which is your next assignment.